but it really just comes down to one thing: FOMO, fear of missing out. At some point, people are going to say, I'm no longer worried that if I wait, I will miss out. Well, hello again, everybody. One thing which interests me quite a bit at the moment is the fact that although a lot of us are discussing house prices, why they've gone up so much, why they'll probably keep going up a bit further, and many people, of course, are naturally expressing concern about the low affordability of housing at the moment, especially as interest rates go up. No one's really so much framing the question in terms of when will house prices stop rising. It's like there's a general expectation that all they're going to do is keep going up, and maybe at some point they'll just increase at a slightly slower pace, which admittedly is the most likely outcome. But we can start to see some forces in play at the moment which suggest it is reasonable to think that at some stage we're going to have house prices maybe not going anywhere for an extended period of time. We're definitely not there yet, so don't be thinking this is something that's going to happen before the end of the year or maybe even in the first quarter of next year. But one of the key elements is already in play. We've got interest rates which have already gone up. The Reserve Bank hasn't yet tightened monetary policy, but anticipation of that happening has caused bank borrowing costs to go up in the wholesale markets. And so already the 1-year fixed mortgage rate, which was mainly around 2.19%, you'll be lucky if you get about 3.2% offered for a 1-year fixed rate at the moment. Those rates, they've already gone up and there are more increases to come over 2022. And frankly, I think for a lot of 2023 as well, given the inflation risks, which I can see building not just in New Zealand, but overseas as well. This is something I think relatively serious people should keep an eye on, especially obviously when it comes to the fixed interest rates that you're looking at. Another factor which will contribute to a slowing, at least in house price inflation, is house supply rising. We've got over 45,000 consents issued in the past year for new houses to be built, but as a proportion of the housing stock, it's only just about 2.5%. It's going to take a lot of extra houses to really make a big dent in the overall pricing of the housing stock. Now, we do, of course, have some extra rules in place. The government and Reserve Bank pushing back against investors in particular. The LVR rule, recent a reduction in bank ability to lend at low deposit, mainly focused, frankly, on first-home buyers. But the tax deductibility changes, well, what's interesting there is a monthly survey, a new one I do with Crocker's Property Management, shows that 2 months ago, 32% of investors thinking about selling were saying, oh, it's because of the tax deductibility changes. Now that's only 18%. Some of the impact of that has actually waned over time. There will be more regulations, more things I think coming forward. Debt to income ratios from the Reserve Bank focused on investors, and that's going to have some sort of slowing impact over time. When the borders open up, I do expect we're going to have people reallocating money back towards international travel and away from buying housing. But quite frankly, I could rabbit on for 3 hours literally about all of those items there and all the data I can produce from my monthly surveys, but it really just comes down to one thing: FOMO, fear of missing out. At some point, people are going to say, I'm no longer worried that if I wait, I will miss out. That if I wait, prices will escalate on me. And I can assure you from years of experience in this business, there is absolutely no way that you can forecast when FOMO will just sort of evaporate like water on candy floss. At some stage it's going to happen, and the best I'm hoping for is to see it happening, I guess, first of all in the various surveys that I do, and then eventually you will start to see it in some of the official house price data. So, like I say, things are starting to be put in place there for house price inflation to slow down, but do I yet have an answer to the question, when do house prices stop rising? No. Best guess, late 2022 if you're lucky. We'll see how it goes. All the best out there.